So, Martin John, can you remember the first time you actually tried cocaine and what it made you feel like?
The first time I experienced cocaine, they say that your first line's your best, but I think it's your worst because it starts you off on that journey. And I remember I can remember sort of the first line of coke I had, and it made me feel invincible, feel very strong and powerful. But obviously later on in life, it done reverse of that, and things went very badly wrong. So that's a basic answer. So the first line of coke that I had that I can remember of, it made me feel very strong. Nothing was going to be not achievable. But then the come down from that is it's the reverse, and everything is unachievable, so to speak.
Okay, and would you say you enjoyed it for quite a few years before you were at any rock bottoms?
Would I say I enjoyed it for quite a few years before I hit rock bottom? I think the first maybe sort of, this sounds a bit ironic really, but maybe the first sort of 10 years of shoving shit up my nose, it sort of, I almost convinced myself it was the right thing to do, and it was, you know, it was great, he was one of the chaps, etc, etc. Mingling with people you shouldn't be mingling with and all talking bollocks. So I would say that the first 10 years, I wouldn't even say it was enjoyable, I would just say it was like part of the routine. As time went on, each year went by, the usage went up. The buzz out of it, the so-called buzz out of it, which don't ever exist anyway, that was way, way, way gone. So you go past that and it just becomes a habit. The more you take, the more you want. And there's no fairy tale ending. It always ends in tears and tragedy.
Yeah, I agree. Right, so let's talk about rock bottoms. Because for me, I had a few. So when was your rock bottom? Did you say you had a few, or did you, you know, how many times did you say, that's it, I'm done? Or was it you just come to the conclusion you can't do it no more? Because some people say they've had rock bottoms and they find it's got a basement. What was it like for you?
Well, I mean, rock bottom, it depends what you mean by rock bottom. I mean, I won't go into too much detail, it's going to take too long, but I mean, as you know, I got welfare at a very young age, thank God. Or not thank God, actually, thank my father for that, for giving me a lot of knowledge and making my goals achievable. So basically, for me to sort of say rock bottom, it was rock bottom every time I used it, because it always ends in you praying to God in bed, get you through the night, you'll never do it again, and it'll be the last time you do it. I mean, when you want to say rock bottom is, I suppose, when I was in a flat with just a mattress, 3 grams of Charlie, completely fucked, lost me business, lost me family. And it's no one else's fault apart from my own, and it all hit me at once. You do get them suicide thoughts. I think you actually think, let's just get it over and done with, because I'm sick to fucking death of it. And it's grabbed hold of you. Even from a man from the streets of East London, I say that in a respectful way. I didn't think nothing was going to ever affect me in my life, but when it grabs hold of you, that powder, mate, you've got to be fucking strong to get out the other side. So rock bottom for some people is different levels, isn't there? Depends what level you're on, whether you're on level 1 or level 10. It all ends up the same. You'll end up getting them negative thoughts and know you're doing wrong, but you just can't stop. And some of them poor bastards, mate, don't make it out the other side.
Yeah, no, that's true. Now let's touch on the family issue of it a little bit. I know for a lot of people it's touchy-feely, because addiction is a family illness, because only, you know, if it's just you doing it, or parents, or you and your kid, or you and a friend, everyone around you gets affected by what you do. Do you identify with the person you was responsibility-wise through the things you expose family to? Would you expose your family to things that you expose them to then, now that you're not using anymore?
Well, I mean, it's a very unusual question, that. I mean, when you say expose your family to things, I mean, obviously, you know, it was always parties going on at my house, whatever house I was in, or whatever day of the week it was, there was always parties going on. You're going to bring the drags of the earth and undesirables back to you, where you live with your family, which is a no-no, obviously, now. I'm straight and on the clean route. But back in them days, I didn't give two fucks. You could meet someone out, back to your house, back to my house. My children are upstairs in bed. They used to come down the stairs and see me sniffing. I know that. With the woman I was with at the time, or my partner, whoever I was with. So they was exposed to a lot of nasty stuff at a young age. I blame myself for that again. Has it done him any harm? Possibly. One of my sons had to get some therapy. My other son has got a lot of things on his mind that I think he keeps to himself, which is no one's fault apart from my own. But yeah, they was exposed to stuff as young kids, which is disgraceful. I'd hold my hands up, I'm fucking guilty as sin, mate. Hook, line and sinker. But when you're in addiction, I don't think you give a fuck. At the end of the day, you know, like you rightly said once, I put drugs before my children. You know, people might watch this channel and go like, you some sort of a cunt, mate. But at the end of the day, I was in deep. I didn't have any feelings or any emotions or any morals for anyone, just apart from the white powder. And I put my children through a lot of heartache. Has it made them strong? In a way it has, and in a way it hasn't. So it's a very touchy-feely subject and a very taboo thing to comment on. But anyone that's really in a bad way with addiction would know that you don't really care about anyone, really. And that's the truth of the matter. That's quite sad, because when you clean up, you realise you've not only hurt yourself, you've hurt other people that are innocent. So that's my answer to that question. And the final question is...
Yeah, your final question is, what would you say to someone that's been using, not necessarily cocaine, any form of drugs, for a long, long time, that feel that they just cannot get out of it, there's no way out? What would your advice be to them from a moment of your experience?
Well, anyone that's in an addiction, whether it's crack, heroin, cocaine, alcohol, etc., etc., I mean, the list is long, but if you're talking specifically just drugs, it depends how far deep you're in. Like a lot of people say it's you know, they have a little bit on the weekend and, you know, they're in control of it. But when you're in deep, the only time you know you're in deep is when you end up doing the product on your own. Is there an easy way out? Definitely not. Is there substantial help out there on the street? Not really. I'm not going to slag people off, because there's different conventional groups, AA, CA, NA, the 12-step programs. I'm not going to make no rude comments on that, because some people cleaned up using them conventional groups and others haven't. I would say that, from my opinion, I've got clean myself. If you put yourself in a hole, you've got to get out of it yourself, because you can't rely on no one in life in general. And getting back to your question and the point, have I got any advice for anyone that's struggling at present? There is no advice. People keep saying there's advice. There is no advice. It's up to the individual. If you want to turn your life around, you can do it. You can stop using drugs as quick as that. But this is where the hard part comes in. To maintain it takes discipline. And the biggest battle you got, a lot of people use this as an excuse. They always blame the drugs, whether it's coke, heroin, crack, whatever it may be. The biggest battle you got is not with the product, it's with yourself. Because you're not happy with your fucking self, and that's why you shove shit up your nose or stick a needle in your arm or drink out of a bottle. You've got a problem with yourself. If you can overcome that problem with yourself and win that battle, your addiction will disappear as quick as that. That's it.